right? So I'll quickly go ahead and talk about the agenda of the items that we'll be covering today. We'll cover some of the program details and talk a little about IIM Lucknow because we have to. There's such a great brand in the education sector in India. Then I'll introduce the esteemed faculty that we have with us today. They will then essentially take us through the program highlights, who this program is for, the learning outcomes, and also touch upon the entire curriculum that will be taught through the program. And then we'll also talk about a very special component of the program, that's the Capstone project. In my personal opinion, this is one of the highlights of the program, where you actually get to work on a dedicated project with the faculty. Um, we'll then also move into some other bits like certification and stuff like that, and we'll open up for Q&A. So if anybody has any questions throughout the session, please keep dropping them in the chat or in the Q&A box, and we will take them one by one in the Q&A session. We have slotted enough time for that. And then we'll end up with giving you some final nuggets of how to take your learning journey further, right? Quickly, I'll just talk a little about why this program has been built, right? Uh, two great numbers that we observed so far is 67% of the CTOs, they say that they directly report to the C-suite versus a business unit or a geography leader, right? So within large organizations, a CTO role is directly answerable to the C-suite and the board, right? And that's why the roles and responsibilities, the stakeholder management, the strategic vision that is required for such a position is very different than any other position in the market, right? So that's one need that we identified, that hey, people in the technology space need a different kind of upskilling because they have to be prepped for a different kind of stakeholder management. Um, 85% of the tech leaders agree that their role is now a change maker. It's not just enablement of technology, but also driving change through organizations and building businesses, right? And when that happens, the impact on business is very high, right? And to be able to manage that impact, there is some learning that is essential for that particular role. And that's why we feel that this particular program perfectly fits for those people who are aspiring for that kind of a position. IIM Lucknow has launched this program for new and aspiring CTOs, tech leaders who are embarking on a journey to reimagine technology, right? They are implementing a techno strategy integration, right? And turning their aspirations into action. So this is a truly aspirational product, which will really help you learn, scale, and then basically build for the world, right? Um, this is essentially a 10-month live online program. It incites not onto just the to enable alignment, smart decision, and robust performance. You will also be able to understand how technology adoption and digital strategy innovation, organizational leadership, governance, sustainability to achieve the entire rounded impact that you want to deliver for the organization, right? All these are very critical components of doing that. The program starts on 22nd of December. So we have still 2 weeks left to enroll in the program. There is a 10 month this program is a 10-month live on 10-month duration, sorry about that. And the program fees is 5,10,000 plus GST. If there is any concerns on the program fees, the duration, when the program starts, how the application will be taken over, all of those questions can be answered by our program advisory team. They are on the call, they can answer those questions right now as well. Plus, you can always reach out. We'll give you their number and contact information. You can also always directly reach out to them. right? Um, just about IIM Lucknow. Truly, we don't need to talk about IIM Lucknow because IIM Lucknow has established themselves as a leader of business leadership and education in our country, right? Just some points in the name of highlighting. It's a double accredited school, AMBA and ASSCB, both great accreditations. Global organizations, global B schools follow these accreditations, and IIM Lucknow is right there with the top universities, business universities of the world. Um, and when we talk about ranking within India, we are number four business school in the country, and there's a tough fight on the top, right? So it's not like we are. And Lucknow is the fourth, and it will remain fourth. It's continuously changing, and it's definitely a top B school in the country, right? And now, without wasting time, I like to introduce the faculty who are here to enlighten us today. Uh, Professor Arunabha Mukhopadhyay, he is a professor of information technology and systems at IIM Lucknow. Um, his research includes cyber risk management, application of analytics, quantitative techniques for cyber risk modeling, IT governance. So, from a technology stack, he that's the core capability that Professor Anurbha is bringing on the table. He has obtained his PhD and postgraduate diploma from IIM Calcutta. He is part of numerous big organizations within the country which are forming guidelines on how technology adoption should happen in the country. And he has worked with a lot of corporates out there who can essentially vouch for the expertise that professor brings on the table. So that's why we are very confident that we all who are in love with technology have a lot of things to learn from Professor Anpa. Welcome, Professor. And the second professor that we have on the session is Professor Seshadev Sahoo. He is a professor of finance and accounting at IIM Lucknow. He holds his PhD from IIT Kharagpur. His research is focused towards IPOs, IPO valuations, investor behavior, analyst forecasts, accounting and valuation, due diligence of organizations, governance issues, earnings management, and IPO pricing. Right now, all of us who are in technology space, we know that whenever a new technology comes, it's very important to be able to understand the depths of the scale that this technology can bring in. And with this expertise of understanding how technologies scale, Professor Seshadev is a perfect addition to the program. Uh, welcome both. Thank you so much for joining here. And please, Professor, please tell us about more about this program.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's indeed a pleasure to connect with all of you. And we are looking ahead to having more engaging discussions as we go along in this CTO program. So the main focus of the program is to actually ensure that as a technology expert that you are already. So you are an expert in your own domain. So it could be in any of those spaces or in the technology stack, you are an expert. But what this program tries to do is to transform you into a leadership role so that once you take up that role, you should be able to have a full 360-degree view of how to take a decision in terms of going ahead and adapting a technology. It could be something like metaverse, it could be something like generative AI, it could be something like cloud computing, or it could be something in terms of applications of analytics to various business processes. So once you take some sort of a decision like that, you should be able to understand and appreciate and put it across to the board that why this sort of a technology solution that you're talking about would have serious implications to the business landscape, and how does the KPIs, that is the key performance indicators, like the revenue, the profits, and the cost, going to be positively impacted because of that. So ideally, you would want the revenues to go up, you would want the cost to come down, and you'd want the profits to also go up in the north direction, right? So that is the main focus that you would have. Now, when you go to the board and when you have to present your ideas, you need to have a holistic view of the organization, right? So currently, most of you are experts and champions in the space of the technology that you're handling, the technology that you are managing. But this program would actually groom you and ensure that you have a holistic idea about why and how that a particular technology piece or a stack or a technology stack would ensure that the digital transformation that you're thinking about would actually meet the requirements that you would want it to happen. That's on the in terms of the organizational setup, how this course becomes relevant. Now, besides this, as Ayush was already talking about, this is a course which is a 10 months long program that has been thought about and unplanned. And it has been done in such a way that you have got multiple modules or pillars which are there. And each of these pillars would be covering a particular theme. And that's how we're going to develop it as we go along. So mostly we have a 3 hour session on Sundays. We are thinking about having an optimal slot so that it's beneficial to all of us. And that's the delivery of the course. Now, in terms of the methodology in the course, it's going to be mostly a mix of case studies and class lectures. So that what happens is that the learning actually goes is actually an applied learning that we want, right? So we don't want to actually make it too technical. So we want to make it as a business scenario, which most of you have come across or would come across as you transform or move yourself up the corporate ladder, and how do you actually take decisions on those points, right? So that is what we want to do here. So as think most of you are pretty aware of the fact that here the focus is going to be mostly managerial in nature, because at the end of the day these are decision points that you have to take, and once you take those decisions they should have serious implications to your own organizations, to your stakeholders, and and also to the society at large, right? So the main focus is around having business decisions and business problems getting solved so that it can facilitate and enable you to take decisions more quicker and faster. So to hone your analytical skills, that's the main focus of this program, right? So, and we already understand that you have got a couple of years of work experience already behind you. So, with that rich experience and with the combination of the in-class sessions, I'm sure it's going to be a synergy and it's going to be a win-win situation for all of us, right? So, that's the basic aim of this learning process that you are embarking on, in spite of your busy schedule that you have. So then what we want to do is that, yes, there are a couple of, there are four broad pillars that we have here. So one is on the technology stack and the strategy part of it, right? So where we try to expose you to again, business implications of generative AI, business implications of cloud computing, business implications of your things like metaverse, blockchain, and other cutting edge technologies like robotics and related issues, right? So the data strategies, data pipelines, etc., so that we can understand and appreciate the technology stack which is being used currently in which is being currently used in most organizations for doing a digital transformation, right? The second pillar is about digital strategy and innovation, right? So here we try to tie it up with how the strategy of an organization is going to get positively impacted because of this sort of decisions that you're taking, right? So now when you're talking about digital strategy, the most important thing which comes in is that a platform strategy, which has become the most adapted sort of a technology platform, most adapted sort of a business model that most organizations are embarking on, right? So in that context, how do we stay relevant? How does an organization, if it has to become a platform, from a pipeline has to evolve into a platform, how do you go about doing the innovations? How do you go about doing the scaling strategies? How do you craft an ecosystem strategy? All of it becomes important, and we delve into those issues using a lot of case studies and business examples. The third pillar is about organizational issues. I think this one Professor Shah would talk about in more details. And the fourth pillar is again coming back to IT again and capping it up with governance, ethics, and your ESG issues, that is your environmental sustainable issues, which are again very burning and very important, because I can have blockchains running, I can have generative AI based solutions, but how is that going to impact climate of the world, of the country? That also becomes very important and relevant, right? So that's again the again a very important piece that we delve into. And then governance, because I can have the best of AI solutions, but if I don't have proper guardrails, then those solutions can also become disastrous for organizations and for human beings and as for society as well, right? So we also look into your issues like cybersecurity, which again is a very, very, very critical and important issue, because so much of data is being collated, so much of data is being processed, and so much of data is being then analyzed for taking decisions. So if I have got data itself which gets compromised, then this entire exercise of transformation goes for a toss. So how does a CTO, in consultation with the CISO, that is a Chief Information Security Officer, ensure that the crown jewels of the organizations are kept secure? And based on which type of an organization, it could be a manufacturing company which is in the critical information infrastructure, the way they would have to manage their show versus a bank versus an educational setup would be different, right? So those are the issues also which we want to delve and discuss here in this course, and with examples and caselets to make it pretty relevant for the CTO to be sensitized about cybersecurity as well, right? And then tying it up with the risk model, the risk appetite of that organization, so that the CTO and the board is pretty well aware of the fact that what is the level of risk that they can uh, take care of. They can ensure that the risk appetite is such design so that they don't have too many surprises coming in. And even if they have those surprises, how would they mitigate those surprises in terms of accepting, transferring, reducing those the cyber risk that they have, right? So that's what we would be talking about in this fourth module. Professor Shah would be talking about the third module. So, and then we have got a capstone project at the end of the course, where we would ask you all to actually use the inputs that you have got through this course, and then pick up a topic which is relevant to industry as of now, and then try and see that how you could actually leverage on the learnings that you have and come up with a solution which could help your organization or any other organization which is operating in your sector, or maybe if you're in the consulting segment, then any other organization that you might eventually be consulting into, right? So that's how, in a nutshell, this program would be, and looking ahead to meeting you all in the sessions that we are going to have hereafter. Now, handing it over to Professor Shahu to talk about the third pillar, please. Professor Shahu, if you can just give your inputs about pillar three.
Good morning, Ayush. Good morning, Arunabha, Professor Arunabha, and good morning, all of the participants. It's a very innovative way of connecting with the potential participants are there. Please see this entire program we have planned accordingly. Out of the four pillars, so one particular pillar is dedicated exclusively for impact of a technology on the organization, to assess, to evaluate the impact of a technology, impact of any kind of a change in the technology, or you can say addition to the technology, how it will impact the profitability, revenue, operations of the company, including HR practices, change management, and all of these things. As rightly Ayush has mentioned in one of the slides, was that CTOs, the key role is the change management, because whenever you have to go for the one kind of a change in the organization, so CTO plays a very critical role, and they have to go for the act as a change agent. So as a change agent, you must have an understanding of the financial implications of the change, the behavioral or the cultural implications of the change. So that is what exactly the pillar three. So pillar three is a very powerful content of the entire program, so that you should have a you should have to take care of the strategic implications of the entire technology you have. And while you have to look into this pillar three, we'll have to go for the small situations, cases, and practical you can say practical applications of the corporate reporting practices. For example, we'll have to take the case of that is how to read the balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement of the TCS, Infosys, or any tech-based company, or any kind of a service company, you can say. And then, due to the technological changes, how these ratios, how the key parameters of the company have been changing from time to time, and that is also our requirement. And we'll also cover regarding the that is due to the any kind of a change, how your organizations is well prepared for to accept this change. Your employees, your systems, your you can say aspects of the company, uh, are they fit? Are they ready to accept the changes? Are they or not? So these issues we'll have to take care of through the cases, through the lecturers, through the some kind of inputs, some kind of pre-reads, and all of these things. Second issue, which is very critical, was that what we are expecting from you. You might be expecting a lot of things from us, but what we are expecting from you, you should take the program very seriously, and we expect the seriousness of the participants, not to just encast the brand image of IIM Lucknow. Is not like that. We are very content rich, and content rich can be well delivered, effectively delivered, provided the participants are to be very, very serious. So we need seriousness from you, and it's not like that ki, sir, today I'll not join in the classes, or please give me the recording. See, that is the one part. But the point was that recording available for any kind of you can say emergency situations are there. Of course, that is recordings are available. But the point was that the classroom learning or the online learning, that will be very, very effective. So we need the seriousness. We never expect some kind of excuse are there. And whatever the assignment professors have given to you, you should have to comply it very regularly and seriously. And then you must have to prepare for the classes. Like suppose I'm discussing the corporate reporting, so you must have to go through the various tech companies or your company, and what the how the company is reporting it, and due to the technology, how the implications is visible in the company annual reports, some key numbers like the revenue, like the profit, like the cost, variable cost, fixed cost, whatever it may be. So these things you must have to see. We are teaching 3 hours, so another 3 hours per week you must have to spend what exactly you have learned and how you connect with your regular or day-to-day activities. So that is what exactly we are expecting from you. And the most third point is the most influential part is our campus immersion. In the campus immersion, will integrate whatever you have learned through the online sessions, and how effectively you can utilize it. And you also get a chance of the flavor of IIM Lucknow also, and a chance to interact with all of the professors. They have interacted with you, they have taught you various sessions. So you must have to ask as much as questions in the classes. So that is what exactly your the entire curriculum has been designed. So we want to give you maximum out of from our content delivery systems, and integrations with our connect with the participants. And equally, we are expecting from the potential participants. This should be a 10 months of program. I should have to take it seriously. And then that definitely will help you to build up your career for the next levels. And one of the slides, I also has said that CTOs generally they have direct connections. They have directly reporting with the CEO aspects are there, and here because you are the key decision makers. So how cost information, how financial information, how technological information, how technical viability will be assessed, how the project will be evaluated. So all of these things are the content of this program. So it's a highly enriched program. So if you can that is the use it in very effectively way, you can maximize your potential, and then we assure that you will be industry ready for the purpose of acceptability in the next positions or higher levels are there. So good luck. Thank you. Yeah, over to Ayush.
Professor Arunabha, maybe we can cover who is this program for and the learning outcomes. I think these two things would also be important for the participants. Yes.
As we clearly understand that when you're talking about an organization which is where you are already employed in a particular role, and mostly if you are employed in an IT role and you're looking to grow up the ladder, so one of those aspirations role would be to be moving yourselves into the role of a CIO or a CTO, right? So these are the two key roles that all of us who are in the technology space would be aspiring to. And then after that, we move into the other CXO roles, and then probably be the CEO of that organization. Right? So that's the reason all of us would be aspiring to get into the CXO roles as quicker and faster that we want to do it. So yes, so people who are from the technology space, they are the most.
I'm adding one point over here. I'm adding one point over. Whether you are in the CTO, CIO, or in the CXO, but this program is meant for if you have already, you can sharpen your skill. If you are aspiring, so that will further give the momentum to you. So either you are aspiring or you are in that position, so that will equally beneficial for you because we have designed the program content and delivery in that way. So that is what exactly preparing for UCT also. So that will be more helpful, you can say. Okay, over to Arunabha.
So absolutely right. So yes, I think most of us are who would be joining this program would be aspiring to be become a CTO or CIO. And if some of you have already reached there, that's a great thing. Great. It's a great phase that you are in. So yes, for both of them, this is going to be useful and handy. So as I was talking about, this program is aimed to make it give a holistic view about an organization, so that when you take any decision as a CTO, like Professor Sahoo was mentioning about, and I think most of you are also aware of, that it involves change management as a very, very key driver in terms of realizing that technology, whether it's going to be adapted or whether it's going to get pushed back and it's not going to get adapted in an organization. Right? Change management, financial implication, business implications, then compliance, governance, ethics, ESG. So all of this is to be considered in a holistic fashion when we take any decisions in terms of rolling out any part of the technology stack. When we're talking about digital transformation, or we're talking about trying to get more strategic benefits out of IT, or we're trying to do a transformation of the business model. So all of this would require a holistic understanding. So that's what Professor Shah was talking about, is that yes, we need to have a clear understanding about the implications of this. So not only the technology part, but also we need to actually also look into the business issues. So this is going to actually skill you in terms of taking decisions which would help the organization to attain the goals that they want to attain, and you in your own capacity would also be able to rise up the ladder and see the things in a holistic fashion and not through only one lens of technology alone. So that's the basic reason I think most of you would want to join this program and get yourself transformed into leadership role, which you are all aspiring to. And if some of you have already attained that role, fantastic. That's a very good opportunity to again try to hone up your skills and also to participate and ensure that you can actually, through your insights and inputs, enrich the entire process of learning for others as well. Right? And the method of learning, as we are talking about, is mostly through discussions using case studies, etc. So or caselets, as Professor Sahoo was talking about. So we would require most of you have you do participate in these learnings or through the discussions, because that's how the learning gets enhanced, right? Because it's not only a chalk or an online class or a session that we want to do, but we want to make it as engaging and uh, as many number of questions which come in, as many number of insights which come in, that actually enriches it. Because most of you are coming from various sectors of the industry, and each of those sectors would have their different issues and challenges which are there. So if you bring that out, that actually gives a totally a different perspective, and it gives a full holistic understanding to all of us who are participating in that class, right? So it's, as Professor Shah also talked about, here you also have to be a very important active learner, right? So you have to be actively participating, right? So just not the way we have been used to doing in our other courses till now, but here we need to be actively participating, and that's the reason the rich experience, work experience that you have is going to come in really helpful if you participate. If you just hope and sit back and take a passive way of learning, you're not going to get the insights that you are looking for from the course. So active learning is most important. Going through your case studies is very important, and that's where you can actually ensure that you are able to understand and appreciate in a holistic manner, right? So just for example, if I just think about implementing generative AI, right? So what is going to happen to the enterprise architecture? That becomes an issue. What is going to happen to the for the change management part of it? What is going to happen in terms of the business processes that I have? So all of them have to be thought together. What is going to be the return on investment on this? Should I do it? Should I not do it? So all of this comes in very handy, right? So we are trying to ensure that you have a clear understanding, so that the leadership role that you're going to take up is going to be helpful and for you. Number one. Number two is that there are a lot of disruptions happening around us, as we all know. So how do we actually get to use the ecosystem view? Because now, as we are figuring out, most organizations are actually participating as players in the ecosystem or in the platform in the platform business, right? So how do we equip ourselves in that? And there's so many exciting technologies all around us. How do we actually get the best out of it? And as a leader, how do I choose this technology so that my organization is able to move ahead in the right direction? That's the reason you are joining the course, and that's where this course should make a difference to you. Yeah, over to Ayush, please.
Perfect, perfect. I think we have covered most of the items on the agenda. There is a I am Lucknow Executive Alumni status also available with the program. Uh, this essentially helps you get access to the alumni network in the IIM Lucknow Executive has. This is a lifelong access. You will also get access to the campus library, and plus you will also get for future discounts for any other programs would you want to do with IIM Lucknow, right? So there are some benefits to the alumni status. It's and one definite benefit is that you'll always be able to say that I am from IIM Lucknow. So that's a great feeling to have. This is the sort of small sample of what the certificate would look like, which will be given to you on the campus immersion. I think there is a small professor, if I'm not incorrect, on the campus immersion there is a small ceremony that happens. You get the entire feeling of graduation, and a lot of participants say that they take that feeling for them for a long time. So it's a great experience from the program. Now, before we move on, I'll just like to open up for Q&A. So there are already some questions in the the chat, so I'll just start taking them up one by one. I think some of this one question was essentially, and this I think got answered, but I'll still repeat it for other people as well. Do we get access to pre-recorded videos on different topics, and basically, do we get access to them during the training session, right? So I think they're asking about the sessions that are going to happen, and would the recordings be available? Yes, all the live sessions, the recordings will be available to you so that you can continuously keep learning. And if you ever miss anything, you should be brought up to speed. So that's definitely going to be there. Then I think there is. Uh, I'll basically take the other questions. Yeah. Cool. Is there any pre-eligibility for the CTO? For example, how much experience is required? So yes, there is a 10-year work experience requirement in the program because this is geared towards senior audiences. This would essentially help us build a better cohort experience, and that's why there is this eligibility there. Professors, do you want to add anything to the eligibility criteria? The question on the eligibility criteria.
I think that's well described in the overall brochure of the program. And yes, we want some amount of experience in the business that they are working in, so that they can appreciate and they themselves can actually ensure that the aspirations that they have are getting met. Right? So if you take in a fresher, he would not be able to appreciate the nuances of business and the nuances of how IT makes a difference to business, and then how he or she would be taking those decisions at the board level. So that's the reason a couple of years of experience have been made compulsory for this course, so that you can actually equip yourself to take up the leadership role as soon as possible, and as you move up the corporate ladder.
Makes sense. Perfect. Professor, the next question is typically how many classes would be conducted in the 3-hour session? Is it like one long session or is it like two sessions of
No, we have two sessions actually within a break, with a break in between it. So 90 minutes, then a break, and then another 90 minutes. So that's how it goes, right? So that's how it. So obviously you can't have a span of A for 3 hours, right? So it's not possible, right? So
Perfect. So now, another question from Kuldeep. Professor, you mentioned that there will be discussions and case studies. So they want to confirm, is there some sort of interaction and discussion that happens in this? People can ask questions, or this is like a one-way communication?
no, not at all. So it's not at all a one-way communication. So we want it to be as much of interaction and as much of questions that get asked. That's the most important thing, because that's how the learning happens. And we can also have small breakout rooms as well, where discussions can happen, and then that can be collated together. And that's how it can then be used together in coming up to a resolution of a particular decision problem that we're trying to solve. So not at all one way at all. It's all throughout as interactive as possible. As many inputs, as many views are welcome. And we can also, they themselves can discuss the case before they come for the class among themselves in smaller groups. And also during the class itself, they can be broken up into small breakout rooms so that they can discuss, come back, and then collate it together. And then we can have some more resolutions on those topics as well.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we might not have highlighted as much, the peer-to-peer learning component of the program,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Because you're part of such an esteemed cohort that everybody around you is a technology leader.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you just don't learn from the classes, but also from your peers. So that's also going to be a
Absolutely correct.
great point. Professor, there is another interesting question, right? Does this course help us get to the CTO position? Very interesting question, please
Okay,
answer.
fantastic. Okay, so yeah, so now that Okay, that's interesting. So obviously, what happens is that you join, as all of us know, that all of us join at a particular role in the organization. So we either join as a, say for example, if you join as from a BTech, after doing a BTech, you join in a particular role, right? So you might be doing development, or you can be doing product. If you're in a product team, you must be doing some product related solutioning for your organization. Then you move from that, you move to the project leader. From the project leader, you move to the program manager, and that's how you keep progressing, right? So now, yeah. So the question comes up is that yes, obviously, because if I have to become a CTO, then what happens is that obviously I would require certain set of capabilities with me, which I should be able to demonstrate to my seniors and in my organization, that I have the right sets of skills with me, so that if I am actually given that position, I should be able to take decisions which would help the organization to grow in the direction that they want to grow, right? So CTO, yes, so it's a progression in the organization. So what you're doing is that you are equipping yourself with various types of skills, so that once you reach that level, you can actually appreciate that it is not only the technical decisions that you are taking only, but you are taking decisions which are going to have very serious implication to the overall growth of that organization, the markets that they want to reach into, the product mix that they want to actually bring out to the market, the price points that they want to actually settle for each of those projects. Or if you are in the consulting sort of a thing, then which all projects should you bid for, which all projects you should not bid for, what are the risks that are there in bidding for a certain set of projects vis-a-vis another set of projects, etc. So those are the decisions typically a CTO would be engaging in. So what you are doing here is that with various case studies and scenarios, we are trying to equip yourself with those simulated environment, so that you have done it once. So once you have that role, when you reach that role, you actually can recall, and you can come back with those scenarios to help you to take decisions in that situation that you are faced with currently when you become a CTO, right? So that's what we are talking about actually.
Perfect, Professor. That was the perfect answer to that. So essentially, there's another question. I don't know if basically, I don't think professors would have the exact answer to this. There is Vikram Bhaskar on the call who's asking that they would really love to join the program, but their application is on hold. So, Divya, any particular problem that we're facing with the application here that probably we can ask professors to also support on?
Yeah, Ayush. Hi everyone. Vikram has submitted the application sometime back, but he's not currently working. I think his last
Okay,
working was in August 2024.
got it, got it, got it. So
Yeah,
they are
and
on a
one of
career
our
break right now. Yeah.
yeah, for some personal reasons.
Okay.
So he wants to join the program so he can get back on.
And they have the required working experience, I think, right?
Yeah, 15 plus, and a very good
Perfect.
experience relevant to the course.
Perfect. So we'll
But
we'll we'll send an exception request to professors, because usually the eligibility criteria is that you should be currently working. So
right,
professor will send an Vikram Bhaskar is there on the call. They're asking for joining the program, but because of some eligibility criteria, they are on hold right now. We'll send the request to you. Please evaluate that once.
So we'll look
S-
into that, and I think we need to check with the MDP office, because
yes,
these are
yes.
guidelines which actually the administration
MDP.
of the organization looks into very seriously. So I think we will have a word on that as well, right, with the
Perfect,
team.
perfect. So Divya, please support the participant. We'll definitely love to support anybody who wants to transform their life with this program.
yes, yes.
Um, I think we have gone through the questions. That was quick. If there are any further questions, please share them on the chat or the Q&A box, where the professors would definitely take them up if there are. Um, in the meantime, I'll just wrap up the last part of the webinar. Basically, just talk about Emeritus a little, the partner who's delivering this program with IIM Lucknow. So Emeritus has a 12 years of history of enhancing careers. We have essentially enabled learning for 2.5 million learners globally with top faculty, 300 plus top faculty like Professor Mukhopadhyay and Professor Seshadev on the call. These learners have come from 160 countries and they have essentially learned through 450 plus programs, which have been designed with 55 universities across the world. So we are very proud of be able to bring this change in a lot of people's lives with the help of the universities that we work with. And with that, we would also want to impact all your careers. And if you have any questions after this webinar as well, please reach out to us on this number and this email ID. We'll definitely respond to you within 24 hours. And if there is a weekend and we are not working over the weekend, we'll respond back to you in 72 hours. So please ask us any question that you want to probably right now, or even after the call, we are ready to help you with anything. Yes. Cool. I think, Professor, we are out of questions. I think the session was very enlightening for everybody. So thanks everyone for joining in, and especially thank you, professors, for joining us and enlightening us today. It was a very lovely session that we had. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.